Speaking of that, I think it's. I was going to mention it. I think this is as good as time as any to mention it. What did you make of those comments from Henry about Arteta?
Well, as you can see,
let's start with Curtis.
Well, I purposely put my green screen today just to let people know what time it is.
Because, where you stand on the debate.
well, I'm just saying, one's got a statue outside the stadium. It's probably the best player I've ever seen for the club. However, it doesn't mean everything that he says is true, and we have to, agree with everything he says. I just think first of all, it showed like football has changed so much nowadays, hasn't it, that you can't have a simple debate with somebody and have different views without it turning into like an argument. Like, I watched that whole show and I don't think Thierry said anything disrespectful towards Arteta. He simply questioned, with the position your club's been in the last 3 years, should you not have at least got to a final or won a piece of silverware? If anybody's got a right to ask that question, it's probably the greatest player we've ever seen play for the club. In my opinion, not everyone agrees. Some people say Bergkamp or different players. But they turned it into he's jealous of Arteta. He hates Arteta. And, because he was part of the consortium that tried to buy the club with Daniel Ek, that he's hating on him and things like that. Like, what are we doing here? So we want every ex-Arsenal player to just fanboy everything the guy says. You know what I mean? Because any other ex-player that disagrees with him, he gets hammered. Petit disagrees. Oh, Petit, he's sour. Henry says, he's jealous. Oh, but then Wrighty, Wrighty agrees with pretty much everything that the club's doing. He never questions nothing. Ray Parlour and Keown. There's loads of Arsenal people in the media that tend to agree with everything that the club does.
Are you accusing Jordan? He's in the media. Are you accusing him of that?
What are you saying?
Well, I thought this was just, what I mean?
Again, this is kind of a bit boring. This is a bit boring because I agree with Curtis on this one as well. Like, there's a man out of a molehill. Nothing he said was necessarily untrue. I think he's a big supporter of Mikel Arteta, but there are standards. He's just saying there are standards here. And listen, you guys know me. I've been a very big advocate for Mikel Arteta from day one, right? I'm not a fanboy. I call him out when these people needs to be called out. I think there are many things he got wrong this season, and I think that the pressure is ramping up. I don't think he's in trouble losing his job, but the pressure is ramping up next season. But my biggest criticism of Mikel Arteta, to what Henry said, it's just what he said. To win the Premier League is very hard. We're living in the Man City era, right? And to win a Premier League is difficult. To win a Champions League, I say I'm forever Arsenal all the time. Every year, the Champions League is like a bank, right? And you got to deposit. You got to put in. Chelsea had to get beaten up in quarterfinals, semi-finals, and even finals before they won it. How many quarters and semis did Man United lose before they got to a final? And even then they lost. And before they won two. Man City, they were getting duppied into quarters and semis, and they lost. So you got to put in the time. And Arsenal we haven't quite yet put enough in the bank to deposit that European heritage that gets you through. How many Champions Leagues have Real Madrid and even Liverpool won without being the best team in Europe? Why? Heritage. They have that thing that you have to, you, as a club, you build it up. So even when you're not very good, it counts for something. But you say that, but we've gone trophyless this season again. So to my point, point is big two are hard to win. However, since the FA Cup win in his first year when he came in, to not even reach a final, you can't bring me a 2-2 League Cup, a 1 FA Cup. You can't give me nothing. That is unacceptable. His cup record is unacceptable, bordering on disgraceful. Not one final. Not one final. In that same time, Spurs made final.
You sounded like my dad there when I used to bring on my report. He used to say, not one A.
Not one. You can bring home 1 A star, Laurie.
Surely in PE or something, bro. You got to get an A in PE.
Henry, something. You know what I mean? So I think Henry was bang on when he said, I think it's unfair to say he's not won of the big ones because they're hard to win. And he has got closer and closer. But it's unacceptable to have not got a League Cup. And I said on again, keep on forever Arsenal. I said a few weeks ago, the problem he's got now is fans like me who have supported him this season would have accepted a title challenge, and a League Cup, a title challenge and an FA Cup. But the longer you go without winning anything, you have to now win the big one.